last one. So this one is call and response. So this call and response. So I say I am a bird, and then you can say I am a bird. Repeat after me. Okay?
The
stand up to welcome the episode.
Dear beloved, dear brothers and sisters, dear family, dear children, I know you're here and I'm very happy. And let us sit up beautifully, visualizing ourselves as mountains. And mountains, very stable, very solid, with back upright. Mountains do not slouch. Upright, we open our shoulders, we relax our arms and put down the relax our arms. We'll enjoy breathing with 3 sounds of the bell. Dear beloved Shalom, dear Viet family, today is June 6, 2024, and this is our, I believe, is our 6th Viet retreat. And over the last 10 years, since 2014, we started the Viet movement, and we've been to Seattle every single time, 6 times here, and we only stopped because of the pandemic. So now we're back, and we're very happy to be here with all of you. I'd like us to practice a meditation using our own hands. Okay? Let us all put out our right hand. Look at our hands, the right hand. And let's first observe the thumb. Now, how is the thumb different from the other 4 fingers? Can you say some observation?
It's a lot shorter than most of the others. It's a lot shorter than both.
It's a lot shorter than the other four, right? Okay. Anything else, Tom? What does the thumb usually do? Let's try to grab the clock. What do you observe when you grab the clock? What do you do with the thumb?
But the thumb is always in front.
That's good. The thumb is always in front. Okay? Do you know that the thumb is so important? Let's say we don't have the thumb, an accident takes place. We only have 4 fingers. Do you think you can grab things as well without these 4 fingers? No, so the thumb is very important, right? It looks quite different. It's shorter, it's usually bigger, right? And it plays a very important role. You know, I met somebody who lost the thumb. And to help that person, you know what we did? We actually used the toe to replace. Yeah? Because without the thumb, the person cannot do anything. So sometimes you replace the thumb, you use the toe. You try to, connect. Because then the person can use the hand. Yeah? So we see the toe down there. They also help balance. But the thumb up here is very important for grasping, right? Yeah? Holding on to things, grasping things. You see? So now let us notice, observe the little tiny finger. How is it different from the rest?
It's the smallest finger.
It's the smallest finger, right? But because it's smallest, do you think we can just do away with it? Can we just kind of throw it away? Should we? No? Why not? Oh, so even if it's smallest, we also don't just throw it away, right? Now, if you look at our 10 fingers, do you think there's any finger? It's kind of useless. Can we just throw it away? Any finger gone? Any?
No.
You need them all?
No.
You want them all? Yeah. So we want them all, and we need them all, and they all work together, right?
Yeah.
So that's amazing. So now we look at ourselves as a whole, and it's with everybody too. Let's see. Somebody may be small like you, right? How old are you, Gam? You're 7. Somebody who's only 7. Very small, and somebody maybe a lot older. Somebody here may be in who's in your 70s or 60s. Yeah? Or the adults don't want to raise their hands. So we're all different ages, right? We're all of body size. Yeah? Some are shorter, some are taller, some are thinner, some are bigger, right? But do you see how we are all necessary? We're all needed? All important, right? And we all play a role in the family, in society. Does it make sense? Just like the 10 fingers in our 2 hands. I'm saying this because as you grow up, or even where you are already, sometimes you may look at somebody else, at other kids, and you may think, do you ever wish to be taller, or as tall as somebody else? Anybody in this audience? Raise your hands. If you wish you were a little taller, then raise your hands high. Okay, wow, like more than half of us want to be taller. Huh? What about some of us who want to be just a little shorter? We're too tall. Okay, that's Aristas raising her hands. Okay? See, she's tall, she wants to be a little shorter. Okay? Anybody who wants to be bigger, buffer? Anybody? Yeah, okay. Anybody who wants to be smaller, more petite? Okay, so even though we are very young and when we grow to be adults, often we want to be something that we are presently not. Does it make sense? We just kind of want to be somebody else. We want to look like somebody else. You see that? Yeah? But if we see in those moments, we look at our own hands, okay? And we say, well, one finger is like this, the other is like that. None of them look like each other, right? But they are all important. And that helps remind us that we are okay where we are. Does it make sense? Yeah? We're like, oh, I have a function. I'm okay. I'm beautiful. I'm wonderful as I am. Right? And my body is always changing. You may be shorter now, but one day you'll be taller, right? And, okay, you have anything to say, Carl? Okay. Yeah, arm may be injured now, but in a week or two, it may heal, right? So everything is impermanent. It means that it changes all the time. So all we need to do is to take good care of our body, right? That's all we need to do. And we don't really need to compare ourselves with others, okay? I'm going to get off the podium. So, a few things that I would like to share with you. You know, as children, when we are born, and the first 5-10 years of our lives, one of the things that is most important for us to develop, can you guess what that is? Yes, What? Quên rồi. I've forgotten. Okay, I will help. Anybody? Yes, come. Motor skills. Wow, okay. You'll be a doctor or something. What do you think about motor skills? Absolutely, come. As you just born, when you are newborn, right? Until you learn to walk. Every moment of your new life, somebody is there to take care of you. And hopefully and usually that's mom and dad, right? When you are crying, somebody is there to hold you, to rock you, to soothe you, right? When you are hungry, somebody is there to do what? To feed you. Now, if you are very cold, somebody is there to do what? To hug you. How wonderful, right? And to keep you warm, right? So the most important thing actually we develop as a child is trust. We trust that somebody will be there to care for us. Anytime, anywhere, okay? Trust is very, very important. This is in the Erik Erikson's psychosocial development. Most important stage, trust. So when we're children, we're kind of helpless. at first. We cannot feed ourselves, we cannot clothe ourselves, we cannot just walk. So others will take care of us. And as we grow older, we continue to build trust. But trust here is not only for somebody else to take care of us. Do you know that? We also need to develop trust in ourselves. Okay? You trust that you will be there for yourself. Does it make sense? Do you trust God? Do you trust that you are there for yourself? When you are sad, can you be there for yourself? Yeah? What do you do when you are sad? What can you do for yourself? You want to raise your hand? What do you do when you feel upset? What can you do for yourself? Nobody knows? Well, let's say, let us breathe. When you are sad or when you are very irritated or angry, okay? Your sister or brother just took away your toy, yeah? Or you cannot find your iPhone and you are very upset, okay? So instead of screaming, kicking, yeah, throwing a temper tantrum, anybody here usually throws, yeah? You throw a temper tantrum, sometimes come, okay, instead of doing that, you can come back to yourself. Just sit still or stand still for a moment and breathe in and breathe out. And you say this to yourself. It's okay, I'm here for myself. Breathing in, I'm here for myself. Breathing out, I calm myself. I soothe myself. I take care of myself. Is that okay? Okay, let us try with the sound of the bell. Pretend you just lost your toy and you're very upset. Okay? So let's pretend that, and then we come back and sit very still. And then we come back to our breathing. In breath, out breath. I'm here for myself. Twice, raise your hands. If you've checked it twice already. Okay, 3 times already. Okay. Now, we check. I see people checking their iPhone all the time. The first thing you wake up in the morning, usually we look at the clock. And people are very smart, right? They put the time on the phone. So you become dependent on your phone. You want to check the time, you turn on, you push the button. But when you check the time, you don't stop there. You start to, right, scroll. And you start to look at other things. Isn't that true? Yeah? Well, we are so diligent with checking in our iPhones. And I have this theory. If we are that diligent with checking in our breathing, If we are that diligent, we're checking in our body and just saying, oh, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. I guarantee you will be much happier and much more at peace in yourself and in your life. And we can be so diligent looking for things outside of us, but we neglect ourselves. Meanwhile, do you realize that? Yeah? And the more we keep looking outward, checking for things out there, looking for people's approval, like, right? Any of you post YouTube and videos and things, you want people to put this the thumb up, right? You want people to approve, to be approved, to give you that approval. And then maybe they're nice sometimes they're not very nice to you. And then you feel sad, right? So the more we depend on others for their approval, the less we are in touch with ourselves. The less we trust that we can give ourselves that approval, that presence. Does it make sense, adults? As parents, we actually entrust our children to the iPhones. We want them to use their iPhones so that they can leave us alone, so that we can do work, right? So that you can leave them there for 5 hours and they don't even move. It's very effective, but it's very damaging to their mental development, to their brain development, to their physical development as a whole, mental and physical development. Okay, it changes your whole body. Now let's say if you keep if you keep lifting weight with the right arm and you don't do anything to the rest of your body, what will happen to this right arm? If you keep lifting weight, what will happen to it? It gets very big, right? Very buff, right? But what about the rest of your body? It will shrink, it will atrophy, right? It will be shrinking and being very weak, right? Well, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. If we keep checking our iPhone being on there, then the brain, certain parts, the motor skill, right, that have to do with the electronics will be very well developed. But the rest of our brain, a lot of it is neglected, is not used. You see? That's physical. Now trust is the same thing. If we keep entrusting ourselves in others for their approval, for their like or dislike, that muscle becomes very strong. But we forget our own trust for ourselves. Yeah? So, and when one does not trust oneself, actually one cannot be trusting in anything. Even though we think we trust others, but we really don't trust others. You see? Because we cannot be there for ourselves. How can other people be there for us? Yeah? So it's very important. Can you do that every day? Just every so often you come back and sit still and just hold yourself and say, I'm here for you. I'm here for myself. I love you. I'm okay. I'm okay. Can you say that for yourself? Yeah? You develop trust. Okay? Let us listen to one sound of bell. And do just that. Put your hands around you. Just wrap yourself in your own arms. Okay? And breathe. And just say, I'm here for you. I love you. I'm okay. I'm more than okay. here for my body. I'm here to take care of my feelings and thoughts. You know, I have a niece. She's 12 years old now. But since she was 5, I taught her that her body is very sacred. Anybody knows what does sacred mean? Sacred, what does it mean? My niece, she asked me, what's sacred? And I said that sacred is, that is so important to you. Yeah? That nobody should look down on it or do something to it, to you, to your body, that make you feel, hurt or uncomfortable. Yeah? Like when I was little like you, my grandmother said, Con, your head is very sacred. Don't walk under clotheslines. That's what she said to me. Yeah? Always keep my head clean, not put pants on my head, not to walk under clotheslines. That's what, because this head is like symbolic of our ancestors. See? But the truth is that not just our head is sacred, but our whole body is sacred. Every single finger, every single toe, every single part of our body is very important and is very sacred. Okay? So that's what I taught my niece since she was 5. And then one day I told her, we were going to the park and she was changing her clothes in front of me. And I thought, how do I teach my niece about this? That she shouldn't just be changing her clothes in front of anybody. Yeah? Even though I'm her auntie, but maybe it's not a good thing. Not anybody, certainly not in front of strangers, or people you don't know so well. So I said to her, Sune, if somebody wants to kiss you, what would you say? And you know what she said? She said, no, but you can shake my hand. That's pretty good, huh? I'm like, okay, good, that's good. Okay. So that's what you can do. Somebody wants to kiss you or to hug you, you said, no thank you, but you can shake my hand. Yeah? Now, and then I pointed at her chest, and I said, now, what if somebody wants to touch your chest? What would you do? And she said, no. And I said, that's right. Yeah? Because this part of your body is also sacred. Nobody should just touch it, okay, without your permission. And then I pointed at her belly. And I said, what about if they want to touch your belly? She said, no. And she crossed her arms right in front of her belly. Yeah? And then I pointed to her hip area and I said, what about there? And she screamed, no! And I said, that's right, my child. You do just that. And I said, and if anybody who touches your body, it doesn't matter if that person is a relative, a friend of the family, a neighbor, a stranger, anybody who touches your body and you don't feel right, you don't feel comfortable. And this is when it comes to trust. You have to trust yourself. Okay, come? When you, as children, when you don't feel comfortable, when you don't feel something is right, you are right. And you have to trust your feeling. And you say, no. Okay? And I said to my niece, now if somebody makes you feel uncomfortable, you make sure you tell grandma, you tell mom, you tell me, you tell your father, you tell your teacher. And I was trying to think of who else could she say. And she said this, she said, I tell my mom, I tell my grandma, I tell my dad, I tell you, I tell my teacher, I tell everybody in the world, don't you dare to touch my body without my permission. Isn't that amazing? Just 5 or 6 years old. And she said that. And you know what? I laughed, and I cried at the same time when that happened. I was so happy that my niece, who was about even younger than you, when I was teaching her this, was aware of that I could teach her and that she understood more than I thought she would, you know? Like, she knew. And I felt very happy. You know why? Also because nobody taught me that when I was a child. Nobody taught me that. And you know what? And when a bad thing happened, I thought it was my fault. And I hid it. I didn't tell my mom. I didn't tell any adults. And it became a pain, a deep pain in my heart, and a deep pain in my body because I didn't tell anybody. Okay? Because I didn't trust my own feeling. I was small, but I couldn't have trusted my own feelings. Okay, come? So, do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? For boys and girls, okay? Teenagers, young people, adults. Very important that we remember that our body is sacred, okay? That throughout the day we keep coming back to our body and say, I'm here for you, I love you, I take good care of you. And when there are bad feelings, we embrace and we breathe and we rock ourselves. We talk ourselves through it, okay? And when something is not okay happens to us, when we feel bad, uncomfortable, you make sure you tell somebody, okay? You can help. You don't hold it inside. You don't let it happen again and again. Okay, come? All right. So let us enjoy one sound of the bell. Then you can go out and play with Sister Calm Down and Sister Light too. I'm so happy that you have, these two wonderful sisters, and they will teach you many wonderful things, and maybe you can practice body scan, today, just to come back to the body and express love for the body. Wonderful. Okay, come with us. Let you stand up and bow. Stand up and join your palms beautifully. And you bow with the sound of the small bell to the family. Wonderful. Thank you, Kakam. Enjoy playing. Okay. Remember to check in your body every so often, okay? And just hold yourself, say, I'm here, I love you. You are sacred, my dear body. Okay, come, you can go, all children. If you are 12 and under, you can go out. Let us enjoy another sound of the bell. Have you heard of the word humanoid robot? You've heard of AI, right? Okay, what does it stand for? Artificial intelligence. Okay, it's artificial intelligence has become and is becoming very integrated in our daily lives, right? It's a very big part of our life, and it will continue to do so. Now, there's the term humanoid robots. You've all heard of this, right? Humanoid robots are robots that look more and more like human. I mean, they actually make the skin look and feel like soft, like human, right? The body shape like human. Unfortunately, they usually make the female humanoid robots very sexy looking. Yeah? Have you seen them? Yeah. I mean, it reflects this society and what's the standard as beauty and what's attractive. And anyway, robots are looking more and more like human. What about humans? That's on this spectrum. Robots looking more like humans. Where humans here, we are becoming more and more robotic. We are robotic humans. We are very much dependent on modern technology. Our tasks become very repetitive, very routine, and we are always online. And when I was having a discussion with the teenagers, this is our third retreat on our Big Wake Up teaching tour. And I talked to the teens in the other two retreats. And I asked them, how are they becoming more robotic humans? And they say, we're very dependent on electronics. We communicate less and less. Do you observe that in yourselves and in your children? And we communicate less and less. We are not with nature that much. We're more indoors instead of being outdoors. So it's a great blessing that we're all here. We create an opportunity for ourselves to be with nature. We are a part of nature, and yet we are so cut off, always indoors, online. And one young person also said, we are not really in touch with our own feelings. You feel that way? Yeah. Well, our feelings are very much suppressed. Now, as we become more and more robotic humans, even if we are 99.9% robotic humans, means mainly robot, only 1% human, we still have feelings, right? We still have self-consciousness. We still have thoughts. And that 1% human can still cause us a lot of suffering. The kind of suffering that robots will not have, because they don't have self-consciousness, because they don't have feelings, because they don't have a need for love or to be loved. Does it make sense? And we see this phenomenon in our society more and more. Yeah? Anxiety disorder, depression, paranoia, high isolation, become more and more prevalent in our society. Electronic addiction, they call eye addiction, and iPhone, iPad, eye addiction becomes a lot more prevalent and more damaging to our society. And that is a reflection of us becoming more robotic humans. We're not in touch with our feelings. We're not taking care of our bodies and our mind. And that need to love and to be loved. We replace those needs with entertainment instead, yeah? With different ways to escape ourselves. So today I would like to share with you the teachings on true love, how to be authentic to ourselves, okay? How to be more authentic, to be more in touch, to be more present with ourselves as fully human as possible. We can still rely on AI, artificial intelligence, but we don't have to become AI, artificial intelligence, because we cannot ever completely be artificial intelligence, right? Because of our human flesh and bones and emotions. So actually, from artificial intelligence, if we know how to come back and care for ourselves moment to moment, body, speech and mind, our thoughts and feelings, this AI, it can stand for authentic insight. Okay? Authentic insight means that the wisdom that we have now, AI, robots, they have a lot of information. They are more knowledgeable than us because, all the information can just be uploaded to them and they'll spew out all facts and information and data, right? Just mechanically, automatically. But as human beings, we're different in another sense, is that we can develop insights. Even if you have dementia, even if you are a little tiny child, you can still develop insights. So let us breathe with the sound of the bell and just be in touch with our human body. Be in touch with the fact that we are still breathing, that we are still alive. And that is authentic insight right there. I am still breathing, I'm still alive. At this moment, I'm still young, healthy, handsome, beautiful. Compared to the rest of my life, this is the best moment right now. Okay? Let us breathe for that. We have retreats at our monastery very frequently, at least once a month. We have friends coming to stay with us all the time for a whole week or a month or 3 months. So that's ongoing. And then we also go on teaching tours like this. And I am frequently reminded that there is so much suffering, even though in a little tiny child, a child can already have experienced a lot of trauma or abuse or neglect or abandonment or addiction, like eye addiction, electronic addiction. So for us to develop trust and confidence that we can be there for ourselves, we can take care of ourselves. We are not going to abandon and neglect ourselves in the pursuit of, external things, or data, or information, or entertainment. That's very important. As adults, if we can do that, then we can help our young people. If we ourselves also don't have trust and confidence in ourselves, in our capacity to take care of ourselves, we cannot teach the teenagers and the children to have trust and confidence in themselves. You see, trust in ourselves, we can trust the world. It starts with that, especially when many of us have gone through, certain trauma or suffering in our life. We lose that foundation of trust. But in the spiritual life, we can rebuild that trust by coming back to our own body, to our own breath, by being able to sit with ourselves like this morning when we did sitting meditation. That is building trust. Trust that I can sit with myself. I can listen to my body. Where there's pain, where there's tension, I trust that I can listen, I can discern, and I can breathe, and I can relax that tension, that pain, or that discomfort. Yeah? And as we build that trust, we have confidence in ourselves. So confidence does not come from the fact that we'll get another degree, or we'll get another nice car, or a nice house, or another partner, or another like. The confidence truly comes from within, from our capacity of being there for ourselves. And with that, it also comes to the next point of another element of true love, and that is respect. Our teacher elaborated this. Really, we need to have respect for our body, for our life. Usually people say, hey, you show me some respect. When I was in medical school, I volunteered at the juvenile at San Francisco Youth Guidance Center, YGC, Youth Guidance Center. So these usually young men, under 18, they were incarcerated for some crimes. So they were at this place. And my friends, we started out as like a group of 10, but we ended up having just 3 of us who left, who stayed for the next 5 years or so. And we would go there every single Tuesday, whether we had exams or not. And so, at first, these kids were tough. And I learned very soon that my status as a medical student or as a doctor meant nothing to them. But I learned to love them, to teach them, to care for them, being very authentic with them. And at the same time, knowing how to discipline them, to be calm, to be present, to be proper. When they are rowdy or something, you treat them as adults. You are stern, but not hateful or angry. We don't react, see, because they feed on that. So anyway, they taught me a great deal during the 5 years that I volunteered at San Francisco Youth Guidance Center. And so one day, a group of new guys came, new kids on the block, and I walked in that day, I walked in all by myself. Sometimes I would show up by myself when my other 2 friends couldn't come. And these kids, they were checking me out, like looking at me up and down and saying some derogatory words. And the other kids, they say, hey, she's an OG. Show her some respect. You know what's an OG? An original gangster. So I'm like, an OG of all those gangsters. So we use the word respect. Show me some respect. Give her some respect. But actually, that respect has to come from deep within. We need to show respect, actually, first and foremost, to our own body. The way we consume with our eyes, that bring in, like when we look at the water, when we look at the magnificent trees here, when we're in this such surrounding, wherever we look, or even, seeing friends walking mindfully, or seeing children, playing in the field, that waters, that seed of joy, right, of peace, of contentedness. That is a way of showing respect, of nurturing respect in us. You see, what we consume with our eyes, with our ears, with our nose, with our mouth, with the touch, we touch our body in such a way that brings safety and sacredness and love and care. Yeah? The way we think, the way we perceive things, all those ways we can cultivate respect for ourselves, for our own life. On the other hand, if we consume unmindfully, you know what I mean? And I've learned that a lot of young people, not just teenagers, but even younger than teenagers, consume pornography. I mean, on these tools I would give consultation, and I would talk to a young teenager, only 13, and he said to me, "Sister D, I'm addicted to porn." It's very painful, but it happens quite often. And boys and girls, male adults and female adults nowadays would entertain themselves with pornography. And that is a way that we water the seed of distrust, of disrespect to our own bodies and to the bodies of others. You see, we water the seed of craving, of violence. We objectify the body as a sexual object instead of seeing that as a human being, somebody's mother, somebody's sister, somebody's daughter, somebody's son, somebody's brother. We don't see that. And when we water the seeds of craving and violence and ruthlessness in us, it will manifest first and foremost in our thoughts. Those thoughts become haunting. Yeah? And they're there more and more frequently, day and night. And they will come out in our speech. And they come out in our bodily actions. I read that nowadays, when with sexual abuse, it's not some old perverts that we have this stereotype anymore. Yes, there's still some old perverts, but there are also young men and women that don't have like horns or fangs or anything. They look very normal. And teenagers and even children also portray sexual abuse, impose themselves on other children. You see? So that is very dangerous and very painful. So a way that we show respect is through our mindful consumption. And this afternoon we will learn about mindful consumption. So I hope you will pay more attention to it. So when we have trust and respect to ourselves, then we can offer that trust and respect to others around us in our own family and in our society. So let us listen to one sound of the bell together. being safe is a very deep need that we all have. And we often think of being safe as like people not harming us, but authentic insight can reveal that it's not only that others are safe to us, but we need to be safe to ourselves, and we need to be safe to others. We're not only victims, we are also perpetrators. At a smaller scale, a bigger scale, we are perpetrators as well. So with that, I will go to the third element of true love. And that's interbeing. In Vietnamese, we learn the 4 elements of true love. Tứ vô lượng tâm, từ bi hỷ xả. So this is a real translation of that. So, xả, the 4 immeasurable minds of love that are traditionally taught by the Buddha. They include equanimity or non-discrimination. And I'll go into that. I translate it as interbeing. And then there's từ means loving kindness, be compassion, and hỷ is joy. Yeah? And the trust and respect, they were added by our beloved teacher, Zen Master Đẳng. So now, equanimity or non-discrimination. There's a very deep teaching that encompasses all of that, the equanimity and non-discrimination. And that's called interbeing. And I draw this circle. Have you seen this sign? Yeah, this symbol, what is it? It's a yin-yang symbol, right? Okay. So, it's like a circle, and there's actually a beam. A beam. It's called a yin-yang beam. Okay? And half of the beam is white, and half of it is black. On the white half, there's a black dot, and on the black half, there's a white dot. I call it an interbeam. Yeah? Interbeam. Tương đậu. And it illustrates a very deep teaching taught by the Buddha called interbeing. To be or not to be, that is not the question. Okay? Because everything is of a nature of interbeing. They're all interrelated, right? We grow up and we say, I'm like this. I think this way, I speak this way, I act this way. This is who I am. But if we look deeply, it's not. We speak like this because our parents have spoken like this, and we've learned from them. Yeah? We think like this because of the social media, of the peers' influence, of the things we read, the things we have been educated. Whatever we think, we speak, and we behave pretty much has been transmitted to us. We just repeat them or have some variation. But very much we are a product of our families and our society. Okay? So we are not entirely separate, fixed entities as we think, but we are very much affected by each other. So in that way, in this, there is that, and in that, there is this. See, that is interbeing. It's like you look at that flower, that beautiful chrysanthemum. It's not a chrysanthemum. That's why it's a chrysanthemum. It has, the earth, the water, the soil, the gardener, the rain, time, space, consciousness. It contains all of the non-chrysanthemum elements. That's why it's chrysanthemum. If you remove the water element, it's no longer there. Or the earth element is no longer there. That's interbeing. So this is a very, very deep insight. Like earlier I said, we are not just victims. We are also perpetrators. Because in the victim, there is the perpetrator. Most people who cause suffering to others, they have been hurt people. Hurt people, hurt people. And when we are hurt, we will hurt others. Our thoughts will hurt others, our speech will hurt others, our bodily actions will hurt others. Hurt ourselves first and foremost, always, and then we hurt others. Because the things that we rehearse in our mind, whether whatever we rehearse, whether it's wholesome, beautiful, true, or not so wholesome, not so beautiful, not so true, when we rehearse them, they will manifest in our speech and bodily actions. You see? And that is how a victim becomes a perpetrator. And in the perpetrator, we see a victim. This insight brings true love. It brings true healing. Because we don't see ourselves as separate entities. We don't hold on to the pain or the anger or the resentment as something fixed and separate. But we see how it's interrelated with everything, with our family, with our society. And because in us there is the all, the society, the ancestors, by taking care of ourselves, our thoughts, speech and bodily actions, by taking care of our body and mind, we can help heal our ancestors, our family, and our society. Does it make sense, my dear? Because in the one, there is the all. And sometimes we feel so overwhelmed, especially young people nowadays, seeing problems in the world. We may feel very overwhelmed and feel helpless and incapacitated. We feel like we cannot do anything. And then what do? We just kind of give it up and we contribute to the social problems by mindless consumption and by just doing things that are very destructive to ourselves and others because we are in such deep despair. So we're not helping, we're just contributing to more trauma, abuse in the world. But if we see in us, there's everything, all generations, society on us, then we take that responsibility, that initiative to take better care of ourselves. And thus we can take care of each other. Like right now, you see, we are taking care of ourselves and each other by being here. So let us breathe with this insight of interbeing, that we can heal the wound, let's say in our childhood. As children, we might have gone through some, painful experiences, and now we are teenagers, now we are adults. Well, that inner child is still in us. We can heal her, we can heal him, we can heal them right inside of us. If our parents cause us pain, if we have caused pain to others, well, they are still in us. If we take care of ourselves, we can heal them in us. We can forgive them in us. As I'm breathing, I thought of the phrase, oh, I love hot dog, I love hamburger. You know, we use the word love so carelessly, right? And so frequently, but because maybe we don't think much deeper. But these are elements of true love, okay? Trust and confidence, first and foremost in ourselves, so that we can have trust and confidence in the world. Respect for ourselves, so that we can show true respect to others, so that we can be safe to ourselves and to be safe to others. And the inside of interbeing, it can be a concentration, a contemplation for us. And we see that everywhere, everything has the nature of interbeing. Yeah? Now, the next element of true love that we learn is that loving kindness is usually translated as loving kindness. The word maitri, or mitri, it literally means friendship. Okay, friendship. So in true love, in being truly authentic to ourselves and to each other, we need to build that friendship. So cannot just be boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, or whatever, and don't have that friendship. The romance will not last very long. But the friendship, deep friendship with ourselves and each other can help us rebuild and trust and respect. Yeah? And this friendship here, in my practice, I've learned to develop a relationship of friendship with my own body, with myself. Okay? I like the word befriend. Like I befriend my in-breath. Breathing in, I befriend my in-breath. Tôi làm lại cái hơi thở vào của tôi. Breathing out, I befriend my out-breath. Hello in-breath. Hello out-breath. Learn to befriend your breathing. Because our breathing reflects everything about us. In the Chinese character for breath, the uppercase, this is which means from, it also means itself. Down here, lowercase is tongue, which means heart or mind. This whole character is means hơi thở, breath. So the breath is from the heart and mind. The breath is the heart and mind itself. Isn't it? That's authentic insight right there. AI. Are you angry? No, I'm not angry. I don't care. Are you sad? No, what do you mean? I'm not alone. I'm not lonely. I'm not sad. I'm fine. A teenager said, I don't need to talk to anybody. I can just be by myself. I'm fine. And I said, but are you really by yourself? Are you really okay? Or are you on your iPhone the whole time? Well, that's not being with yourself, okay? When you're on your iPhone, you're not being with yourself. So we can be in denial. Denial is an acronym for don't even know I am lying. That's very deep. Don't even know I am lying. So, thankfully, as a monastic, I hardly ever have to lie. I'm very grateful. And when I have to lie, I lie something because I'm uncomfortable, I say, I know I'm not speaking the whole truth. I'm always practicing being very honest with myself. It's so important. Even if you lie to others, be honest with yourself, okay? Because when you don't even know you are lying to yourself, that's the worst of all. That is when you are lost cause. You have no chance of transforming and healing your suffering. Okay? So, come back to this. Am I in denial? Am I lying even to myself? So we learn to develop that friendship with ourselves. And the breath tells us everything about our body and our mind. So we don't have to be in denial. Even if you think you're not angry, but you listen to your breathing pattern, you know you're angry. If you listen to your body, the body gives you all the messages. You know, it's like we focus so much on the brain, this head. It's like most focused in our society, our intelligence and all. But actually, do you know that more messages go from our heart to the brain? You know, the sensory neurons, 80% of them go to the brain. And only 20% of the motor neurons go from the brain to the heart. So the scientists, they term heart brain, they coined the term heart brain. So it's not the brain always in control, you know? The heart always gives that input, 80% of the input to the brain. Now the lungs do the same thing too. More messages from the lungs go to the brain than from the brain to the lungs. We can call that lung brain, right? Our GI system is the same thing. More than 80% of the neurons go to the lung, go to the brain. So have you ever felt like, you know, all the description, I feel like there's ants crawling, yeah? Ants crawling, or feel the butterfly, or you have the pain, yeah, the cramp, the distension, all those are messages from the body. You see, when we befriend our breathing, when we befriend our body, we hear all the true, authentic insights that are there. And we cannot deny that. We only can be in denial when we block out all those messages. We suppress them all. That's when we become quite numb. Either, mentally we suppress them, or we take medication or drugs, and we are not in touch with those messages. Otherwise, they are always there sending messages to us. And that is why in practicing mindfulness, we learn to come back to our body and our breath all day long. Okay? Because again, the body is a manifestation of the mind. The body is the mind. So let us breathe together and just check in again to the messages of our body. How's my body feeling right now? When I'm angry, where do I carry my anger in my body? Okay? Where? You can put a hand on that part. Some of us, we may have like this suffocating feelings in our chest. We can't breathe. Or you feel like this pain in your abdomen or in your shoulders or somewhere. just recognize where do you usually carry anger versus sadness. Is that a different place that you carry sadness rather than anger? Or is it the same place? So just check in, identify that, and just breathe into those parts of our bodies that carry pain and tension for us. And thank them for doing so, and relax them, caring for them. Befriending our breathing, befriending our body, listening to the message from our body. And that's true friendship. And we gain authentic insights from that. And the next element, which is healing, that's B, it's been translated as compassion from the Sanskrit word karuna, which means to alleviate suffering. That's the literal translation. Alleviating suffering, which means it brings the healing to us. So in our daily life, whatever we do, it's important we ask ourselves, are my thoughts bringing healing? That's a way of thinking, am I nurturing myself with true love, with true authenticity? My thoughts, the thoughts that I consume from others, on social media, from the news, are they bringing healing or are they bringing separation, anger, discrimination, fear, separateness? See? That's a way of looking at true love. Are my speech bringing healing to myself, to my children, to my partners, to people in my community? You see? Are they bringing healing? Are my bodily actions, just even the way I walk, the way I sit, do they send a message of love and care? Or do they trigger anger or suspicion? At our last retreat in Dallas, we had a Q&A session, and I shared with the young people just the way that we show respect and care for ourselves. And I talked, like today at that time, I talked about sexual abuse because unfortunately it's too prevalent in our society. And it's something that most of us don't talk about. So we suffer silently, separately, when it's such a social problem and we all contribute to it. And yet it's like a horse sitting on a table that nobody talks about. And I share with the young people, we need to learn to be aware of our body, to take care of ourselves, to know where we are. Sometimes without awareness, we end up at at the wrong time, at the wrong place. And inadvertently, we bring danger upon ourselves. I've also met young mothers who have divorced, who have gone through a divorce with their husbands, or even mothers who don't have the partners. And what happens is that the young women friends to themselves. They seek attention and affirmation from men, so they would have new boyfriends, sometimes new husbands, and it's not infrequent that those boyfriends, some of those boyfriends or the new husbands actually molest, sexually abuse the children. The mother would be very surprised to hear that. She would never suspect that her boyfriend or her new husband would do that to her child, to her children. But it happens, you know. So that is why it's so important that we learn to be really in touch with our own feelings. Yeah, to be really aware of our environment, of our situation. If we learn to be there more for ourselves and for our family, we take good care of ourselves. We don't have to always go outside to look for approval and to bring more harm and drama to our own family. I really want to stress this. Please protect yourselves and please protect your children. Because if something happens, that child will suffer for the rest of their life. When I work with teenage boys, with young adults, I also tell them, please take care of your sexual energy. You know, sexual energy is something so normal. We are created by that sexual energy. We come from that, but we are much more than that. Besides our sexual energy, we have our breath energy, and we have our spiritual energy, mindfulness, concentration, authentic insight. You know, we have different kinds of energy. So if we don't know how to take care of our sexual energy, it becomes everything. We forget the breath energy, we forget the spiritual energy, you know, and it brings harm to ourselves and to others. And we may never think that we would be the abusers. Never. I never would do that. But you know what, one day you find yourself imposing yourself on somebody else, and you find yourself feeling shame, and even finding ways to justify your actions, being in denial. No, it wasn't that bad, I didn't mean it, etc., etc. You see? So it's so important to have the self-awareness. We are different from animals in different ways, but one certain way is that we have self-awareness. A cat is very aware of the mouse, but the cat is not really aware of its own body, the way it's moving, the way it's anticipating the prey. But humans, not only are we capable of being aware of the objects outside of us, as humans, we are capable of being aware of our bodily movements, of our thoughts, our perceptions, of our feelings. Now, most of us don't pay attention to that. We just do things automatically, mechanically. So we are being that robotic humans more and more. But really, we do have self-awareness. It's in our forebrain. And with that awareness, it can help us, protect us, and protect our loved ones from being harmed and from being harmful to others. And that's very deep, deep healing. Okay, I'll go on to the last element, which is joy. In Vietnamese, that's hỷ. We talk about the hỷ xả, joy. Yesterday in the orientation, my sister talked about joy. You know, by living here and we experience this beautiful environment, we experience peace and a sense of joy right away, right? So in our society, we think happiness comes from getting more, consuming more, right? With our eyes, ears, yeah, the sights, the sound, the smell, the taste, the touch, the thoughts. We think we get more joy and happiness through consumption, through our six senses. But actually in Buddhism we practice, and this is authentic insight. Joy and happiness comes from letting go, not from grasping and holding on. From letting go, we experience joy. Just like if I hold this microphone too long, my hand will get tired, right? But if I can just put it down, if I can just release the fist, there's relaxation, right? So we learn to release the grip more and more, whether it's physical or mental or emotional, we release. Letting go brings joy and happiness. Mindfulness brings joy and happiness. So you've been here just since yesterday until today. See, by practicing mindfulness, did you enjoy the walking meditation this morning? It's just a simple thing. I get my joy from the simple things coming from the earth. You look at the beautiful trees, they are so magnificent. They are older than us, any one of us here, right? You look at the water. You breathe in the fresh air. You haven't gained $1 more, one more title, and yet you are touching deeper joy and happiness than if you were to buy an iPhone that is most, what is it? Is it i13 now or i14? 14. Huh? 15 already? Oh my goodness. Yeah? You may get joy, but it's very short-lived. But if you touch this kind of joy, you really can touch it often throughout the day, anytime, anywhere. As a practitioner, we learn to cultivate joy and happiness anytime, anywhere. You sit there, you're sitting there, you feel bored, just breathe. Say, wow, I'm so thankful right now. I don't have to do anything. I don't worry about anything. Or right now, I don't have a toothache. Right now, my body is okay. I'm content. So you change a feeling, a neutral feeling, or from boredom or sadness, you can just give rise to something positive, and it becomes a pleasant feeling. You see? So a practitioner cultivate joy, and you don't just have to consume. Okay? And so I will end with a story. An archer, he wants to, or she wants to deepen the skill to be a better archer. So the person travels a long distance. And then finally this person comes to a forest. And they see, wow, everywhere there's this, the arrow is right smack in the middle at the bull's eye, everywhere. And the person is so impressed. And when she found this archer saying, I am so deeply impressed by your skills. I really want to learn from you, Master. How do you do it? So this archer, the master, he said, well, it's easy. I just shoot the arrow and then I draw a circle around it. I shoot the arrow and I draw a circle around it. Isn't it great? That's how I do it. Yeah. Well, often we have ideas about love, about life, about happiness, right? We have all these ideas and we try to aim for it. We try to aim for it and then it gets somewhere here, there, and we are very disappointed. We're never satisfied because it's never really what we thought it would be. Right? Never. We are never enough. Never good enough. Never have enough. But we can learn from this lesson. If what we do go in this direction, every thought we produce, the speech that we produce, the bodily actions that we produce, is in direction of authentic insight, in the direction of peace and harmony and healing, of friendship, of trust and confidence, these 6 elements of true love. Do that, and everything else will just come in place, my dear. Everything else, your status, the money, the car, the house, the partners, the life that you may have, whatever, it will come in place. It may not be what you expected or you anticipated, but you will be able to be at peace with it because you know you have done your best in that direction and with that authentic insight. So I hope that you will remember these 6 elements of true love. Have that as your arrow. You just shoot in that direction, okay? Everything else will come into place. Don't chase for these things. In our practice, you are here, let's say, for 3 days. You will experience a lot, and you will have many authentic insights. But it's very easy when you leave here, you go right back. Because it's habitual. We rehearse so much, we rehearse our way of thinking, our way of speaking and behaving, so it's easier to go back to that habit. And whatever that is rehearsed often, it becomes a habit. And a habit becomes a personality. Oh, I'm like that. I don't interact with people, or I'm like that. I scream when I'm angry, I'm like that. I drink when I'm depressed. Yeah? I'm like that. That's a personality. But it comes from a rehearsed action that becomes a habit, a personality. And a personality leads to a certain destiny. So in that way, we're not just victims. We're also perpetrators. And we perpetrate those actions in our daily life. And we just, with mindfulness, we can learn to choose. See, we really have a chance. We choose to go in that direction. And it helps us to have true love for ourselves and others. And it will bring deep friendship and healing and joy. Okay? So thank you, my dear ones, for choosing to be here or being taught to come here. We're very glad that you are here and hope that you will stay until Sunday and that you will continue to keep your hearts and mind open so that we can share many wonderful moments together and we can grow together. And what we do here, we can continue to practice outside, out there. And that is helping society. Instead of being overwhelmed by the wars, by the destruction that's taking place out there, we know we can practice and we know we can make a change. And the safe to myself, I am safe to the world. Trust in myself, I can trust the world. Thank you, David. We'll listen to 3 sounds of the bell together.